Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. Today we continue with chapter number 22, Al-Hajj or Pilgrimage. Last time we stopped at verse number 55. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who was talking about the day of judgment, was talking about the end of life on this earth, the day of judgment, and that everybody will stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the ayah 56, verse number 56, He is explaining that situation when everybody will stand before Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Al-mulku yawma'idhin lillah, the authority, the power, the kingship belongs to Him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you have a judge, He would be the judge. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that day will be the authority who will judge everybody accordingly. And as we mentioned before, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have criteria. He makes sure that you, this life, hear His message. Hear what is your obligations. Because remember, you are driving down the road. If you don't know that when there's a stop sign, you have to do what? You have to stop your car. When there is a red light, you have to stop. All these, when you go before you apply for your driving license, what happens? They have to test you with all these different signs. They tell you, oh, you know this sign means there is a curve, so on, so there is a yield, there is different things. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the same thing. Number one, He will send those who will make that message simple. The message of the Quran, the message of Muhammad alayhi salatu, simple and easy to understand. So nobody will have any excuse. Number one. So you won't come and say, so Allah will make sure that everybody understand it before He judge him, because the consequences will be severe, either eternity in hell or eternity in the paradise. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He won't place somebody in hell forever for no reason, unless there is a lot of evidence. And this evidence proves that this guy, he have received all the laws. He have received all what he's supposed to do, what he's not supposed to do, and he rejected, or he denied, or he mocked them, or he didn't really do anything. Again, and the second thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has is used for that judgment. So number one, we said the evidence. He will make sure people will put the evidence on each other. Number two is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He have created a human being with something called conscious. The conscious is a very, very, and that's like the filter. Everybody knows that theft is haram, is prohibited. Any religion, any law in any country, you're gonna bring anybody, you're gonna tell you, oh, in any country right now which is not Muslim or they don't have Sharia law, right, it's well known. Number two, harming somebody is considered prohibited. Doing anything, murdering, cursing, all these things, becoming like an animal with no restrictions. There is something in your heart, is called conscious. That conscious, in a lot of time, will have something called regret. Will be regretful. Oh, I did this. I kind of said this. It will be until the time comes when the sin or doing the wrong thing your heart become accustomed to. After that, the conscience will be dead. And at that time, the person won't even know. He will be doing the wrong thing and he think it's okay. It's the right thing. Until something happen and the person will have that kind of remorse, or he'll think, oh, he'll come back. Some people come back after that shock when something happened. For example, people, a lot of times, they cheat taxes, they cheat here, they cheat there. Okay, 1 year, another year, next year, becomes okay. Until they come and get audited. And when they got audited, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't really mean it. I didn't. Remorse come to either they will change their course after, or the year after they will do the same thing. So the main thing is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also in that process of accountability, He doesn't forget. Imagine when you have a computer system, from once you're born until you die, recording every single second of your life, of what you see, of what you say, of what you do, of what you act upon, of what you, everything, of your text messages, of your phone calls, everything is recorded. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. He has the accountability. He has all the records. That's also one of the ways He will yahkum, means to be able to judge. Because you cannot let a judge do judgment or make judgment and he doesn't have the facts. So Allah have all the facts with Him. So the judgment is a sound judgment. There is nobody can come back. The facts are clear because He has recording for all these facts we go through in life. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most just. Because all the facts are there. Even informing you, serving you that you got that message, that you know that what you're doing was wrong, but you didn't pay attention to it. You didn't want to change. You want to stay in what you're doing. You want to make sure everything is clear for you in this life before He judge you in hereafter and put you in torment or punishment. Allah doesn't want to punish nobody, but people choose to be punished. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will judge between everybody. فَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will separate people. آمَنُوا, they believed. Believed in what? Believed in the Quran. Believed in Muhammad alayhi salam, the last messenger, the last prophet. Believe in what you're supposed to do, the righteous actions which you're supposed to do, and the wrong actions, what you're not supposed to do. What's halal, what's haram. And then what? Is it enough? No, it's not enough. وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, they have done. You have to prove your belief. Somebody is saying, I'm a doctor. Somebody is saying, I'm a surgeon. And you have somebody who needs a surgery right away. Brother, please, go ahead. In the hospital. Oh, he has to prove it by doing the surgery. Same thing. As you is saying, I'm a believer. I believe in Allah. I believe in the message. I believe. And your actions are so far away from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have asked you to do. When the time comes to say the truth, you lie. When the time comes to be modest in what you wear, you don't follow what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have asked you to do. So on and so forth. And that's how the shaitan manipulate people and change people and try to convince you that you don't, oh yeah, you do, it's okay to cheat here. It's okay to change the materials here. It's okay to add a little here. It's okay. That's how the shaitan manipulate. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so clear in His instructions. So number one, they have to do, they have to perform, they have to change, they have to come, and if I die right now, what will happen to me? What I'm doing wrong? How can I change myself? What actions I need to do to change myself? Those people who believe and do well and do good, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will admit them to in His garden of blessings. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. Again, the word kafaru means somebody who's been introduced. The truth has been introduced to him, the clear truth, but he rejecting it. After it's been clear, that means kafara. They cover it. وَكَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا. And they lie about, deny our signs, our clear signs. No. That's what they say. Oh, Muhammad? No. He wasn't a prophet. Quran? No. It's not a. Although all the evidence, all the common sense prove otherwise, but they're trying to convince themselves that this is not a book. This is not the words of Allah. Muhammad wasn't a prophet. Islam is a terrorist religion. Whatever. So many things. I don't want to go through all of that, all of these things. But at the end of the day, the truth is obvious, but it's rejecting the truth. فَأُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ مُهِينٌ. Indeed, they will be in the humiliating punishment. Very humiliating punishment. When you go to hell, I mean, with how Allah described it here, it's very humiliating. You'll stay there forever. For what? I don't think it's worth it. Because it's just a few years we live. It's just a few decisions, right decisions we need to make, right? It is patience on the truth. That's what it takes to avoid that. Otherwise, the people will let themselves do everything with no control, say anything, do anything. That is what's happening right now. I want to be homosexual. Let me be. I want to be a lesbian, a gay, transgender, whatever. It's okay. We have no restrictions. And this is all about this life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have created this life for us. And He made a lot of things, mostly everything, permissible, with restrictions. And this is the norm for any, for example, work environment. You work, there is restrictions. Your break is half an hour. You cannot take more than that. Your interaction with your fellow worker is with specific restrictions. Your actions with or your interaction with the customer with restrictions. Everything is restricted. Why? So you can at the end of the day get your pay. Or at the end of the week you get your pay. Otherwise you'll be fired. Same thing with Allah. Allah has made this life easy. But you have to abide with the restrictions. he have put. And these restrictions were made. This is why, like a corporation, say a retailer, have their laws to make sure everything runs smoothly for the benefit of the customer and the benefit of the shareholders. Same thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you be saved. That's why He put that restrictions. You cannot fornicate. You cannot have other relations. When you wanna have sex, it has to be within marriage. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala you cannot steal from nobody. You cannot say falsehood. You cannot see genocides. You cannot see things are being violated. Women are getting raped. Kids are being mutilated. And you're watching. And you're not saying anything. It's all about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to act as a witness of truth. So from there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, like we said, it's just to need what? Avoid. We need to avoid the hell. It's not a good place. Imagine when it gets hot. Like people say, oh, it's like hell. It's not even like hell. It has nothing really, it's just nothing compared to hell. Hell is really something very, very, very bad. Nobody wants to be there. But with what's happening right now, still the devil is in the driving seats. And I believe he's taking the majority, maybe 99% right now, of the humanity following him to hell. Unless we will make that driver make a U-turn, and then it has to start from us, in our households, in our homes, in how we respect Allah, in how we respect God, in how we worship God, in how to make that worshiping of God a reality, how I treat others, how I talk to others, because Allah said so. And He's the judge. He's the one who has paradise, and He is the one who has hell. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the next ayah, He says, وَالَّذِينَ هَاجَرُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ ثُمَّ قُتِلُوا أَوْ مَاتُوا لَيَرْزُقَنَّهُمُ اللَّهُ رِزْقًا حَسَنًا وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَهُوَ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning here the migration of the Muslims from Mecca at the time of persecution. They migrated persecution to Medina. And then also, that also extend to our time. All these people, for example, who came from different countries, Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all these Muslims who came, migrated, for example, to America. What is your purpose of migration? Coming for what? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He brought you here to America, not because He loves you more than the person who's being persecuted, the person who can't find his sustenance in India or Pakistan or Egypt or any of these countries. So Allah will hold you also responsible about what you're doing. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, هَاجَرُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, those who migrated for the sake of God. The coming and the purpose of coming here to America, you have to have that kind of mindset. I'm here to serve the religion of God. I'm here to convey the message of Islam. I'm here to become the best Muslim I can. And then when I become the best Muslim, I can easily become a messenger of this message, a transmitter of this message, talking to people and talking to others about this message. Allah will not gonna give you this opportunity of talking about His religion unless you change your inside and you change your outside. And change your inside by mean your heart is not connected to this world. Whatever Allah will bring you, thank you, Allah. But I'm not trying to accumulate. Trying to accumulate with halal is good. Accumulate, yes, with the permissible means, it's okay. But I am not, my whole life is not running after these luxuries of this life. My whole life is not how much I have in the bank, what properties I do have. No. My whole life is how I became a better Muslim. How many people I talk to them about Islam. How many people I try to let them understand Islam. That is what hijrah is. Otherwise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will judge those who come to this country severely. Why? Because you are participating in paying taxes, which is legal, and you're supposed to pay taxes. But part of these taxes is going to what? Wars. Killing your brothers, killing your sisters, in different wars, in different areas. In Gaza, Palestine, supporting regimes like Egypt, Pakistan, all these tyrannical regimes with your tax money. So you're participating. So you better have a good excuse. You know, like when somebody stands in trial and his lawyer, he wants to avoid jail time. He want to acquit him. He want to get him as an innocent. He has to find a better excuse. Why he did this crime. Why he killed this guy. He will say self-defense. That's why he can get out. So he has to prove the self-defense. So you have to prove to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you, yes, participating in that system, but you also have to tell him that you were obligated. There was an obligation for you to be here, so you convey the message of Allah. Otherwise, there's no other excuse. You're here to raise your kids according to the Islamic teachings and to make them the best Muslims ever, so that they can convey the message of Allah, the word of Allah. Otherwise, you have no legitimate excuse. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, oh, you participated. You were here enjoying your car, enjoying the vacation, enjoying the food, enjoying the restaurants, enjoying the beaches, and you're just living like anybody else. So you will be treated like anybody else. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, those who migrated, ثم قتلوا, being died, killed, being harassed, being discriminated against, أو ماتوا, or die. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, but look what they have done. It's all their migration. They have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's, the cause was for who? For Allah and His messenger. For this message of Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, لا يرزقنهم الله هو رزقا حسنا. Their intention was for this religion. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will compensate them with the beautiful reward of the Jannah. Hasan, great. One of the best rewards. Why? Because they worked for Allah. They didn't work for themselves. They worked for his religion. They worked for La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah. وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَهُوَ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best giver, is the best one who gives all these blessings. ليدخلنهم مدخلا يرضونه وإن الله لعليم حليم. He will let enter. He will give them and will let them enter a place which they will be pleased. They will be happy. They will be satisfied. They will feel, yes, that's it. That's what I really, but what happened? They sacrificed. When the people did migration, what did they leave behind? Their money, their family, their house. A lot of them left Mecca with only maybe the garment they were wearing. They left everything because they understood that message. They were moving. Whatever was moving them is La ilaha illallah. There's only one God worthy of worshipping. And they were ready to do anything. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, He will give them. He's the king. Imagine when a king give. A king give. The ultimate king. The only real king. Allah give. What He will give to them. And that is my message to all of us. What do we do for Allah? So we will deserve His mercy. We'll deserve His rizq, His givings. So we'll be happy. Do we feel the tranquility? Do we feel the peace? Do we feel that our life is, every day I see light in my life? Or every day there is a problem? Every day there is hardship? I mean, that's part of life. But what I'm saying, how we look at it. The light, you can be in hardship, but your life is light, full of light, because you're worshiping the King. You're working for the King. You're doing anything in your life for the King. You're treating people the best treatment for the King of the heavens and earth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر